What's good, everybody? So I have been informed that there is one of the most ridiculous and insane situations that we have come across in Gacha in recent memory, and it involves none other than the Cookie Run Kingdom community. Bear in mind, there could be some potential dark themes in this video. I think you'll find very quickly it's not as it seems or what it looks like, and actually the ridiculousness of this whole situation is insane. We're getting a disclaimer, frame one. This is gonna be kinda... oh boy.
The past week has been certainly something for the Cookie Run community. If you're unaware, let me give you a quick breakdown as to what's going on in regards to this video. Recently, Cookie Run Kingdom released an update which was meant as an end of an era update, as it marked the end of the Dark Enchantress War, which, for reference, Dark Enchantress Cookie has been the biggest antagonist of Cookie Run Kingdom for over 5 years at this point. The update...
so they just wrapped up like major plot points? I didn't realize Cookie Run Kingdom was like dog.
It was called Beyond the Horizon, which was the third part of a 3-part update to mark the end of the Dark Enchantress story. However, after the release of the update, there were a lot of people who complained about certain things about the updates. If you do want a quick synopsis of what was wrong with the update, then check out my Did Cookie Run Kingdom Go Too Far? Short. To quickly get out of the way, the biggest issue was that at the very end of the story, White Lily Cookie and Dark Enchantress Cookie had one last battle to settle the score. In the end, White Lily Cookie came out on top, thus ending the reign of Dark Enchantress Cookie's tyranny over the Cookie world. However, this did come at a cost. Due to Dark Enchantress Cookie having originally came from White Lily Cookie, this meant that Dark Enchantress Cookie dying also caused White Lily Cookie to die. Lily Cookie died, all in order to protect the Cookie world, thus making the ultimate sacrifice. However, it truly was a sacrifice, as it made the entire Cookie world safe once again. That is until Shadow Milk Cookie comes back again and ruins everything, because why not, am I right? Now, this is where the video is going to take a very dark turn, as everyone hated this. Social media has been going crazy.
Oh. Was it the case of like their favorite cookie, you know, dying? Not cool. Like it's not very hopeful. Good doesn't win over evil in the end. Like I'm wondering what kind of like reasoning people are coming up with.
Over the fact that White Lily Cookie had sacrificed herself. How do I know? Well, I put out this tweet because I was genuinely curious as to what people were thinking about hating this update. So I did finish episode 15 of Beasties, and apparently a lot of people didn't like it. I still won't post anything about it after like a week or something, but I'm still curious. While I am an overall positive person, what exactly was wrong with it? People didn't like it? This tweet would blow up, at least for my standards, as I wasn't expecting a whopping 71 people to respond, but here's
blew up 70 comments.
some of the replies that has to do with the situation at hand. Even with the belief that White Lily Cookie would be revived, it doesn't undo the damage of her choosing death as atonement and the concerning message that it sends. She wants to reunite with her friends, yet she was only given a few words with Pure Vanilla alone as she was passing. Shadow Milk's character was assassinated for a Mary Sue, either none or bad character conclusions, making this character happy with their deaths. Like seriously, that's a messed up thing to teach kids, and that's just what I've heard. Lily's death was really unnecessary. She was implied to be and later on she overcomes that, so her sacrificing herself was such a bad writing choice, and then they portrayed it as her being truly free, which felt like a bigger punch in the gut because that goes...
oh, so this cookie or this character already had like bad like tendencies earlier on and got over it, and now is sacrificing themselves at the end of a fight. I don't think that necessarily implies that they were like... because to me, this tweet is kind of then saying that they intentionally sacrificed themselves, not because it was the only option, but because they wanted to sacrifice. Yeah, it's very different. I agree. That's very, very different. Like, it's not the same. It's not teaching you the same thing. Because one's implying that it's like a choice they want to make, and the other is like they have no other option to save everyone.
Against what she learned. Because of the whole message that freedom equals death, and the fact that they killed White Lily, as a lot of people wanted her to live so she could atone with her life instead of her death. From what I've learned, 1, White Lily's sacrifice means her development was for nothing, and that it conveys a bad message for people. Now, as far as I can tell, all of these complaints stem from the same reason. White Lily Cookie dying was bad because she wanted to end her own life because she was and knew that she'd die in the end. Am I the only one who thinks that this doesn't make any sense? Don't get me wrong, I was just as upset that White Lily Cookie perished, but to say that she was or even that the death was uncalled for, it might be just me missing something, but I don't understand how that makes any sense. Let me break it down for you from my point of view in a few segments. 1. White Lily Cookie did not commit...
yeah, like, sacrificing yourself is not the same as... how do I make a sense of term? how to make it, I don't say the word offing yourself. That sounds like a horrible way to describe it. Nah, that's too close to the word. I don't know. Well, man, this is difficult.
There's a difference between and sacrifice. A is where you give up on hope, let your negative emotions get the better of you, and you throw your life away. A sacrifice is where you're willing to risk everything, which includes your own life, for the safety and protection of others. I feel like people forget that Dark Enchantress Cookie could not exist without White Lily Cookie. However, the same thing
Unaliving. That
can be said for the other way around. White Lily Cookie knew that if she wanted to defeat Dark Enchantress Cookie, she would have to come to terms that she wouldn't survive. However, she wasn't going to go down without a fight, and at the very least, took down Dark Enchantress Cookie with her. 2. White Lily Cookie was not. There's no doubt that White Lily Cookie was depressed in my eyes, but that doesn't immediately mean that she wanted to end her own life in any means necessary. If she was, then she would have most likely done it way earlier, like falling to the hands of Silent Salt Cookie.
So, was there no actual narrative reason that she wanted to, like, unalive? She was just, like, sad? I do think this might be a bit of a controversial hot take opinion. I think there are a lot of people in this day and age who assume, like, depressive episodes or sadness as being like, oh, that must mean they want to unalive themselves. Oh, because they might be miserable about their life, it means they don't want to live it anymore. That's not true. For a lot of people, that's not true. Like, people can get, like, depressive episodes. People can have times where it's hard to, like, deal with stuff. But that doesn't mean that someone wants to, like, unalive. Like, I think that might get mixed up.
However, White Lily Cookie was just depressed primarily out of everything that she's witnessed. She saw the truth of cookies being that they were meant to be eaten, leading to her thinking that they would all be eaten in the end. But this also brought Dark Enchantress Cookie to life, which destroyed the mentality of all of the ancient cookies, all because of White Lily Cookie. Even Golden Cheese Cookie has flashbacks of the original Dark Flower War. 3. It was just bad writing. I'll have to admit that it does seem convoluted, but this resulted in the redemption for not only White Lily Cookie, but also Silent Salt Cookie as well. They've atoned for everything that they've done, being White Lily Cookie causing Dark Enchantress Cookie to emerge, and Silent Salt Cookie falling from grace, slaying the other former Cookies of Virtues by his own hands. Their soul gems would then merge together, paving forth a new Cookie who would be the new embodiment of freedom. Also, they managed to get a hit on Shadow Milk Cookie, who was just losing their mind. I know that, unfortunately, it did result in the other Beast Cookies dying, but we don't know if this will stay true or not, considering that Sugar Swan Cookie was able to revive the other cookies as well. While I can admit that the Beyond the Horizon story definitely has flaws, I didn't think it was actually that bad, to be honest. However, this is not the reason why I'm making this video. This tweet caused the entire Cookie Run Kingdom community to implode. I know looking at this tweet using some
Ep 15 so ass my cousin actually unalived herself. I'm sorry. I see a tweet like that. I'm not believing it. I'm sorry. I don't believe that. If I see a tweet like that, I would not believe it. This looks like someone tried to take the piss and mock, like, the story. Yeah, this does not seem real to me.
Common sense, you would assume that this tweet was legitimately a joke. I mean, who would use the laughing emojis after mentioning their own family member's death? However, despite this, Twitter just blew up over this tweet. Dev Sisters officially has blood on their hands because of their blatantly pro message, and now real families have to live with.
Oh no. Okay, this is what I feel like has happened. I feel like, on first look, it looks like someone's taking the piss about the story, and a lot of people were already so mad at the story that they actually used that joke tweet and, like, weaponized it to further push the narrative that the story sucked. To me, that's kind of, like, evil. Is that evil? I feel that's, like, borderline evil, right? Like, that's kind of fucked up. Like, someone joking about that and people taking it to be like, yeah, the game is so bad, it's now real families are having to deal with this kind of thing. Using that joke as, like, a soundboard to vent how much you don't like the game or story is weird.
That, by the way, someone actually killed themselves because of that horrible message they gave. This isn't about the character anymore. Dev Sisters seriously need to address this and take responsibility for their horrible right.
Oh my god, wait, this is fucked up. No, okay, I'm fully in the camp of people are just using this as an opportunity to shit on the devs in game. There is no way. Wait, there's no way. Bro, I thought this was gonna be I thought this was gonna be like super tragic and like something really awful has happened, but now I'm thinking that this cookie run community is fucked up. Like opportunistic just to like get a jab at devs.
Hi guys, I want to say something regarding what's going on with Cookie Run right now. Please read this, it's very important to me at least. Boycott Dev Sisters. Do not buy their merch, do not play their games. In fact, delete their games from your devices. Do not go to fan
Bro, yeah, this is insane levels of gacha tribalism. What the hell?
events. Do not buy anything in-game. Do not support them. Do any more than this if possible. I don't
Yeah, there is no way one story is going to be the cause of someone unaliving themselves. Like you say, Fig, the person would have had so many other
know
problems.
exactly.
So many other problems beforehand. And now people are just assuming that this like alleged thing happening is just true with this one tweet and running with it just so that they can soundboard and promote the fact that they hate the game. This is insane. This is insane.
What? But if you can do something, do it. BC's episode 15 has genuinely made people attempt by giving the message through White Lily that is the way to freedom. For a game with a very large fan base of mentally ill.
It's not okay. Is this okay? I really don't want to get on the bad side of a cookie run community, but this seems like stupid, no?
People, especially ones who relate greatly to White Lily, setting a message like that is going to send people over the edge, and it is going to be the reason people die. It's already.
Oh my god! I think this is so stupid. A cookie run kingdom story is going to be the reason why people like off themselves because someone did a sacrifice for a character. This tweet has to have like 3 likes. There's no way this is like a popular sentiment. Yeah, it's a very this is someone who doesn't understand what mental health is. I assume you're okay. I'm making assumptions. Someone that's talking like this, I assume maybe you're 16. You lived a lot of your like early like teens in COVID. You don't know what real mental health struggles look like and how it affects people and what they go through and how they actually deal with stuff. If you really think that a cookie run kingdom story is going to send them over the edge, there is far deeper problems than any kind of developer in this situation.
Happened at least once that I know of, and could happen countless more times. This isn't just the episode being bad now. People have died and made attempts on their lives because of the message Dev Sisters had sent. You cannot simply be okay with this or continue to pretend that there was nothing wrong with the episode. And if
they just really hate the patch and story that much, they will just use this as an opportunity. This is sickening! It also feels like engagement bait. People are like, oh, I know what I could do. I could use this whole scenario to drum up a lot of attention by making these really angry tweets.
You say something like over fictional characters, you are missing the point. People do not kill themselves because of a bad writing or bad story or a bad ending. They do it because of companies sending the message that shows that is the correct answer to already deeply mentally ill people. If you were a...
No, it's not. Okay, by that logic, every single piece of media that depicts sacrifice in some way or loss is then going to be responsible for other people watching it, and then they might unalive themselves after a period of time. How is that a company's fault? How is that a dev's fault? That's not a dev's fault. Yes, sacrifice is a very common trope.
Person who related to White Lily, loved her as a character, or didn't even like her but still saw the ending, seeing be shown as correct and the only way to freedom can be extremely damaging, especially to younger and more impressionable people. And please remember that is never the answer and it will not bring freedom. You are stronger than you think, and there are so many people that care for you even if you don't know it. There will always be a better answer than death. Poor people who cannot afford to pay for video games are bullied for watching them on YouTube and end up playing free things like Cookie Run and killing themselves over its problematic portrayal of their blood is on your hands, you Twitter elitist.
What? What am I reading? What am I reading? Poor people who can't afford to pay for video games are bullied for watching them on YouTube and end up playing free things like Cookie Run and offing themselves over its problematic portrayal of... Where's the proof that that happens? 6.2k likes, 139,000 views. There is no way that this is a common sentiment on Twitter. They're speaking as though this is fact. Where's the proof of any of this? Where's the proof that all these people and are just offering themselves because they saw White Lily sacrifice herself for the greater good? Okay, I feel like this is autism maxing to the most insane degree. Am I allowed to say that? Can I say that? I really feel this is the case of like what is happening? Their blood is on your hands, you Twitter elitists. Yeah, all you people who said the story is fine, you're the problem. You're the problem. It's like, what are you trying to say? This person's also implying that like gacha players are like poor and broke and hate their lives. Brother, like a lot of people spend a lot of money on gacha games. Like that doesn't necessarily mean that they're poor, right? Like this is crazy. Like it's actually you people who play gacha games, these free stories, you're all poor and broke and miserable and hate your life. Like this tweet seems more like a projection than anything else. Bro, I swear, these people have to be like fucking 13 or 15. Bro, Twitter's got to be 18 plus at this point.
I think it's not only the fact Dev Sisters put a pro message in their game, but also the fact that they put a pro message in their game made for kids. If it was
this is only true if there was actual unaliving happening in the game. But from what I'm hearing, there was no actual unaliving. Sacrifice is not the same as unaliving yourself. That's not the same thing. That's not the same thing at all. They seem to be taking the whole thing of like, White Lily might have been like depressed, a bit miserable about some things, and then sacrificed herself. But that's the same thing as unaliving. Where's the logic? I don't understand.
was a piece of media for adults, you could chalk it up to mature theming, I guess, but when it's presented to kids?
I can get behind, though. I can get behind maybe it's a bit too dog. From what I'm seeing. Like, maybe there is some level of, like, I could agree maybe to some extent about the level of darkness if it is made to be for children. Sure. I can get behind that. But, like, this is insane.
Some dumbass is going to respond to this with over a fictional character rather than realizing that stories and their messaging has an effect on the people they're telling it to. The reason we make stories, by the way, and saying people can gain freedom by killing themselves has consequences. Cookie Run Kingdom and Dev Sisters has been receiving constant backlash because White Lily Cookie's self-sacrifice caused someone to take their own life. And this pissed me off. I've already made a short about this, but do you want to know why I'm so damn pissed about this? It's because that immediately over a tweet that looks as stupid as this, fans of the game immediately want to pin the blame on someone, which is Dev Sisters, and I have no idea why this makes any sense. First of all, I understand—
It doesn't make any sense! Yeah, like, people are just taking it as fact now.
And that Cookie Run Kingdom is a game that's basically for the ages of everyone 13 plus. I understand that people don't like the portrayal of White Lily Cookie's sacrifice, but if you took a little bit of time to look into this, you would realize that Cookie Run as a series is not hesitant to tackle the topic of death, with the strongest example being Sherbet Cookie within Cookie Run Kingdom's Lantern in the Snow story. Should we now boycott Dev Sisters because Cotton Cookie had to watch her dear friend die all for Frost Queen just to say something like, that's a part of nature, or something like that? Secondly, if this was such a big problem, do we also have to hate, like, Doki Doki Literature Club because of what they did with Sayori in the game? Or how about any other game that tackles the concept of— because obviously a self-sacrifice is the same as suicide, I guess. If I wrote a book where it involved someone taking their own life, would you shun me into silence or even crucify me? And do you know how messed up it is to go as far as to boycott the company over something like this? Let me ask you something. Someone with mental health issues takes their own life after listening to what a character says. Do you know what that's called? Because I'll give you a hint, it happened around 2 years ago with Character.ai when a person by the name of Siwo Seltzer III, a 14-year-old, took their own life because they roleplayed with a Character.ai bot. However, from what was researched, it was because of his mental health that happened to be deteriorating for the last 10—
Yes, he already had problems. He already had severe mental health problems. Like, saying that, like, one particular thing or one game or one story is the only thing that tips someone over the edge is just, like— it's just not fair. It's really not fair to do when it's always a collective problem of so many other things.
Months of his life before he ended it all. So, is it the fictional character's fault? Or is it the person with mental illness's fault?
Okay. I feel a bit weird. Okay, I don't like that. I don't like that framing of like, it's the person, it's your fault. It's your fault you offed yourself. Like, I understand. I don't think that's the right words to use personally. Because it's not like a fault. Like, at the end of the day, you are the person, if you decide to unalive, that is a process that you do go through yourself. But I think it could be a lot of things. It could be failure of systems in place to protect you. It could be a failure of like the parents not looking after the child properly. Like, if you're a kid and you end up doing that, I feel there's a responsibility on the parents to a degree. Like, there's a fault there. I think there's a fault on like systems in place. There's a fault of like, there is personal responsibility and agency as well. But like, I don't like this. There's no one singular fault. I don't like this. I don't like this way of framing things. Mental health is very, very, very complicated, and it's multifaceted.
The answer should be really obvious. I'm not trying to diss on anyone who has any
I don't like that. What he just said there, I don't like the way he framed that.
sort of mental illness. But do any of you even remember what mental illness means? It means you're mentally ill. You will take things to heart and not take another moment to consider them. How could someone else's mental illness have the blame pinned to a game that they enjoyed? If you have mental illness, then you need to seek help from a real professional, not text on the screen from a character that's not even real. Are you gonna take up time travel because of Timekeeper Cookie? How about destroying everything to get what you want like Dark Enchantress Cookie? Why not attempt to assassinate a leader like Affogato Cookie? Oh, but apparently none of those count because it's ridiculous. Like this wasn't ridiculous enough. It wasn't until a day or two passed that people started understanding why this logic of reasoning made no sense. Make a game about Cookie characters. Story leads to confrontation with villainous character. Cookie character sacrifices herself to save the day and protect her friends. Fans see self-sacrifice and commit. Fans blame you. No, the devs do not need to take responsibility for their horrible writing. What needs to happen is that you people who take a
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Thank God. Reasonable person. Oh, reasonable person.
Video game about Cookie seriously need to actually step away. My heart goes out to the minor, but y'all need to actually step away from the game. Developers and authors should not be responsible for their audience's mental health. The parents and their health advisors should. People are talking about
True. If you're a kid, it's your parents' responsibility. Mental health professionals.
how it's cool to joke about a kid offing themselves over Cookie Run Kingdom's glorifying and saying that they are heartbroken for the person. Meanwhile, the Ground Zero tweet is F15 so my cousin actually killed herself. Our brains are shrinking. You really want to live in a world where artists have to create works of fiction knowing they'll be held accountable for the way any given mentally unstable person reacts to it? How is Dev Sisters and Cookie Run Kingdom to blame for the death of someone because of a story that they decide to tell in their own way? White Lily Cookie would not have wanted any of this. You know what White Lily Cookie would want you to
Holy parasocialism. Oh, White Lily Cookie wouldn't want you to do this. I'm sorry.
do? She would want you to fight
Cap is fucked up for laughing? Nah, I'm not fucked up, bro. Think of the cookies.
for what you believe in, making sure that you do whatever you can in hopes that you can create a better future for not only yourself but for everyone
Stop laughing at the pain. I'm so...
else. Is never the answer for this. Also, I do want to go off script for a moment, saying that someone did DM me telling me about how there may have been some people who actually made fun of the person who allegedly killed themselves, and let me just mention this for a fact. Never do that. That's disrespectful, that's degrading, and it's genuinely an awful thing for any person to do.
I'm sorry. I don't care. Maybe I'm too, like, old. Maybe I'm just getting old, okay? And I lived in a different time. I come from a different fucking time than these kids these days, right? But back in my day, if someone tweeted what they tweeted and we all saw that, we would point and laugh at it and be like, you're obviously fucking joking. You're taking the fucking piss. This is obviously someone taking the piss. Like, that's just how it is. Like, and someone joking about it when there's no substantive proof of anything, and it looks like the most, like, low-effort shit post ever, I don't think you could blame someone for, like, taking the piss about it. Right? Like, deadass. You can't if someone decides to laugh at that and take the piss, you can't be like, you're a horrible person for taking the piss out of someone unaliving themselves. Motherfucker, look at the tweet! That's so unserious, dude. Like, you can't blame someone. You can't call them bad for laughing at that. Sorry. It's just not how it is.
Get real for a moment. While I'm not going to go into many details about this, I once knew someone who was actually a part of my family who took their own life, and it didn't solve anything. If anything, it broke apart our family more, and the worst of it was when I heard the cries of the people who I cared about because of it. But please, if you have any thoughts of depression, any sort of mental issues, or just feel down in general—
it's your fault! That's what he should have turned around and say. He should do that. If you're feeling depressed, or it's your fault! That's what he said about 5 minutes ago.
Then don't hesitate to talk to someone about it. Talk to any sort of friends that you have, family who sticks close by you, even people within other communities who can relate to your issues, and even if they can't, would still be open to hear you out. It does not matter who you are, male, female, black, white, religious, it doesn't matter. We're all part of the human race, and we all need to take care
Okay, bro.
of each other, because we're all that we have. No matter how far people may seem away from you, you may be closer to more people than you realize. We shouldn't cause this community to crumble over something akin to this. We all need to mourn and move on. However, we all need a very big lesson to think before we speak. If someone did end up taking their own life because of the story, then it's going to be tragic. However, it'll still be their call at the end of the day. However, like I said, do not be afraid to reach out to someone if you feel like you need it. You only have one chance at living your best life, and it's not going to last forever.
Grok, can you write me the most motivational segment about living life and include cookie reference in it somewhere, please?
So please, don't just strip yourself away from the beauties that this world has to offer.
Oh, fuck. I know I'm being a dick. I know I'm being a dick. Chat, I know I'm being an asshole. I'm sorry. I'm just so dumbfounded by everything that I've read in this. I know I'm being a bit of a dick. It does feel extremely performative. You are the shining light, okay? And you should be your own guiding star in your own life. And you should make sure that you take every single day in stride because you are beautiful. You are magnificent and you will change the world. Like, that's how I feel watching this right now.
You can imagine your own stories, explore communities that you may love, explore landscapes if you're feeling adventurous, or even find a soulmate that you'd do anything for.
Yes, you! You will change the world!
And that you'd want to make sure that you fight for a brighter future for the people that you love. But always—
oh, fuck me!
Just remember, and I'm hoping that this sticks with everyone who watches this video. Life is a gift, and it needs to be cherished.
I get it's probably kids that watch this, so I get it. Like I am being a dick. I'm really not trying to be. But this is so ridiculous. Like this is so. You know what? I'm gonna change the intro to this video. Before we do that, guys, let me know what you thought about this in the comments down below. This is one of the most ridiculous situations I think I've come across in recent Gacha memory. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We're on the warpath right now to 35k subs. I appreciate y'all. Let's make it happen. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay silly. Peace.